Welcome back. Well, the U.S. continues its deep dive in strengthening critical mineral supplies, and a proposed tungsten mine in Nevada is moving closer to reality. Guardian Metal Resources has completed a pre-feasibility study for its Pilot Mountain project. This is a key milestone helping determine whether a mine can be economically developed. The company says the study demonstrates strong project economics and positions Pilot Mountain to become a major domestic source of tungsten. Joining me now is the CEO of Guardian Metal Resources, Oliver Friesen, with me right now. Oliver, great to have you. Congratulations on this news.
Thank you so much. Great. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big deal. And let's, I guess, start with talking about how important tungsten is and what tungsten is used for, because these are, when you talk about what these minerals do, you recognize these are national security decisions.
Yeah, and you were just talking about it with Congressman Hill. I mean, tungsten is a metal that we rely on China for. So what is tungsten? It's, I would say, arguably one of the most critical and important metals on the planet right now. Why is that? Tungsten has very unique physical properties. It's actually one of the most dense metals on the planet and also has the highest melting point. So we need it for defense, we need it for munitions, we need it to re-armor this country. And right now we are reliant on China, Russia, and North Korea for tungsten. In fact, those three countries combined account for 90%, yes, 90% of total global mine supply. So given what we need it for, defense, as we discussed, aerospace, technology, chips, all need tungsten. Without it, we cannot build those things on American soil. And that's why this metal and this company is so important, is we need to reduce our reliance on China for this super critical metal. And Guardian is actually looking to bring two new mines back to U.S. soil with Pilot Mountain, as you mentioned, but also Tempa Ute as well. So two new mines during the Trump administration is our goal at Guardian Metal.
That is incredible. That's great news. And look, you talk about who controls tungsten. China alone controls 80% of the global tungsten supply. And I also see that this pilot is also perhaps able and has the potential to produce copper, silver, and zinc as byproducts as well. So this could be an enormous opportunity. How fast can you scale this up?
We're trying to go as quickly as we can, Maria. We just completed the pre-feasibility study, as you mentioned. That study was actually supported directly by the Department of War. So utilizing government funds, we're very appreciative to the Trump administration for those funds, for that investment. It allowed us to complete the PFS in a very, very tight timeline. And right now we are slated for production inside of 2028, so during the Trump administration, and trying to move forward as quickly as we can. We're now on to the next steps already, which is called a definitive feasibility study. The mine permitting work has started. So trying to reshore this important critical metal back to America as quickly as we possibly can, and to do it responsibly as well, obviously.
And I know that these public-private partnerships with the Department of War are critical to getting this going. We heard last week or a couple of months ago more information about the public-private partnership with MP. Which is, of course, also trying to develop these minerals. Look, the AI boom is driving massive investment in data centers, semiconductors, advanced manufacturing, and behind that technology is a supply chain of materials needed to build it. The U.S. working to bring more manufacturing back home. What does this look like in a practical way in terms of workers, in terms of the manufacturing sites that you are betting on?
It's about bringing American jobs back, and I think also really importantly to support national security, right? You know, there's other tungsten projects and companies being pushed forward globally. As we've discussed, we are reliant on China, Russia, and North Korea for our tungsten supplies, but we should be doing this in America. You know, we have two great assets. Both of them were past producing. Both of them shut down when China flooded the market previously. So with the tailwinds now from the Trump administration, we are really trying to tap into those and deliver and bring these fantastic tungsten projects back to their former glory when they were producing tungsten for American people, for the defense industrial base. So it's an important story. And like I said, we are moving as quickly as we can, and the Trump administration has been directly behind us and all critical metals companies in the United States of America.
So what do you need to continue to scale this up in terms of permitting relief, in terms of what the administration can do, and also a capital raise? You're going to do another capital raise for this?
No plans right now. What we need is to continue along the path we are on. We've seen with the Trump administration multiple executive orders that have been focused around, as you mentioned, permitting, funding. We were the direct recipients of an investment, as I discussed. We just got to keep on moving forward. We want to see, I would say, continued support from the Trump administration, which is certainly the case. We're seeing that now. We're the direct beneficiary of some of that support. And we need consistency, right? I think really what the executive orders boiled down to was responsiveness. We are seeing that now. We're going through the mine permitting stage now. We are seeing tremendous responsiveness across the agencies that manage this. So as someone who's been in the mining space for 15 years, this is the most supportive environment I have ever experienced for mining, which is why the timing of this company delivering these two mines is so important.
Yeah, it's because President Trump gets it. I mean, President Trump understands how critical these minerals are. And of course, you've got China trying to put these export freezes on things and restrictions. So since the Chinese export restrictions were announced last year, prices have gone up. What's your sense of tungsten prices going forward?
We feel very bullish on the price of tungsten going forward. We're looking at, on the demand side, what is driving the tungsten price move right now. AI, as you discussed, requires tungsten. Aerospace, SpaceX needs tungsten. But most importantly, what we really need tungsten for right now is for defense. It's to rearmor this country. And we haven't really seen that demand from defense really start to pick up here. So that's, I think, something that we're going to see from 2027 onwards, is how that direct defense demand is also going to come into an already supply constrained environment. So we think there's a fantastic window here. And on the supply side, 90% comes from China, Russia, and North Korea, right? There's very few projects being pushed forward in the Western world. We have two of them, both of them on American soil. So we feel very constructive and positive about the price of tungsten going forward.
That's very good. I just love this mining story, Oliver. We're watching your work. We appreciate your time this morning. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
All right. Oliver Friesen joining us. We'll be right back. Stay with us.